or the highway. High Court cites Auditor General for contempt. NPP opens nominations for primaries as the demand for rules to work intensifies. Don't compare a Nokia 3310. Daniel, do you know a Nokia 3310?
I know, Papa.
Are you sure?
Hey,
with a Huawei Y9, Jacob Oseyeboa to Imani over the cost of the voters register.
Because what I loved about it the most was the snake game. Do you remember the snake game on 3310? You know the points that we racked up on 3310.
But the most important story, I must say, that's a Daily Statesman is carrying. Liverpool celebrates after beating Manchester United. Symbolic and moments of release.
Very, very important story.
Anyway, why did you put me in this place?
For
this gentleman to gloat.
It's the biggest story of the week.
Let me do the chronicle. Osafumafu once Domelevo jailed, files contempt charges against him. New voters register. EC disarms critics with detailed response. And the Public Accounts Committee begins to arrest district finance officers for perjury. The last one on the front page of the chronicle, police mutilate suspected robber's leg. And there's a photograph of the person, but I can't finish with the chronicle without reading the Bible quote on this one,
which is the same as yesterday, actually.
Oh, it is?
I checked, yeah.
Matthew 15:7. You hypocrites.
Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you.
Oh wow!
Hey, Charlie,
impressive. How long did it take you to memorize that?
So the new Crusading Guide is reporting Rollins dares UEW Vice Chancellor to publish Yoko report. EC sets the record straight, says Pestle System does not belong to Jean Mensah's husband, and Paul Educhum's family petitions Akufo-Addo to help retrieve a $40 million investment from Guinea.
The Daily Guide also has the story about the finance officers who were arrested in Parliament yesterday, 2 arrested for lying to MPs. Sedina authorized 500,000 Obatampa loan. Baumia hosts Oni of La Ife, and Auditor General cited for contempt that did this, which is on the front page of the Chronicle as well.
The Graphic Business is reporting experts dampen hopes on FX committee. GSE wants 100 companies listed in 5 years. We need an effective public service to achieve Ghana beyond age. From my lips to God's ears, we definitely need an effective public service. Addressing housing challenge, Springboard panelists offer solutions.
The Finder, debt chokes bust. 423 million as at end of $423 million as of end of November 2017. That's the debt. Digital terrestrial television projects nears completion. Rawlings dares UEW to publish Yoko report on Avoc and others. Volta NDC denounces secessionist.
The Ghanaian Times on the back page is reporting Amnesty International demands reports on human rights from the government. On the front page, police gun down 2 robbers, retrieve ammunition, handcuffs, axes, and face masks. Will save 173 million CDs on compilation of new voters registers. A story which was on the front page of almost all of the newspapers yesterday. Digital terrestrial television switch over to commence in July. That's according to Communications Ministry, and full implementation of paperless port to earn Ghana more revenue. That's it for me.
The Daily Graphics is my last paper as well. GRA issued 3.7 million tax identification numbers. Ghana UK to strengthen ties. 69% of roads in Ghana are bad. Massive rehabilitation underway. That's according to Roads Minister Kwesi Amoakwata. There's one other story on the front page of the Daily Graphic too. A private institution's woes. 1 school, 1 student, 6 teachers. And back page of the Daily Graphic, that just riled me, right?
That sounds like a good, almost like, can you imagine if you had 6 teachers? It's 6 teachers, right?
Yes,
1 student. I mean,
it sounded like a campaign promise. 1 school, 1 student.
4 more to do more.
Yeah. Daily Graphic back page though. Government initiates project to save poultry industry, and over 2,000 killed in road accidents last year. We have said this over and over and over again.
And we are going to keep talking because that number has to go down. And that's why we are inviting the National Road Safety Authority on the show today. And we'll be speaking to them to find out exactly how we are going to get this number down. Engineer Adonting will be joining us today on the show. So you want to keep your questions coming in for the Road Safety Authority as well. But let's do the details, shall we?
Yes, let's take to roads. And the Roads Minister Kwesi Amoakwata is the one who is talking about 69% of the country's total road infrastructure being bad. which is the reason why government declared this year, 2020, as the year of roads. Now, he's indicating that contractors have been deployed to fix the roads, to improve the quality of the roads. And I must add, with what you are saying, we must improve the design as well. Because one of the problems that we have noticed is that whenever the roads are well done, then the accidents start happening because people are speeding. So whilst we are constructing the road, we may take into cognizance the fatalities that are happening on our roads and then consider the design. But Mr. Mwakota says that given that 69% of the roads are bad, government has deployed contractors, and he's particularly talking about the Eastern Corridor Road. We know that the Eastern Corridor Road stretches from Tema to Atimpuku, Joapong Hohoi, Jasikan, Kejebi, Nkwanta, Pasa, Oti, Damando, and then Bimbila, all the way to Yendi, Garu, Misiga, and Kulungugu in the Upper East region. Now, this cuts across 5 regions, all the way from Greater Accra, Eastern, Volta, Oti, so all the way to Upper East region. And you know that Eastern Corridor Road has been one of the most talked about roads. I think the other road which used to be well talked about was Malayam Ranza, and then Bole Bamboy Road. And Fufuliso Sola, of course. So the Eastern Corridor Road is been much talked about, largely because for many people who want to go all the way to the north, they don't have to use the Kumasi Road.
Yes.
Because the Kumasi Road tends to be choked, it tends to be long. So if you use the Eastern Corridor Road, it's much shorter, it's faster for people. It's the reason why governments over time have consistently said that they were going to construct the road. Unfortunately, it never happens. So let's hope that this time around, the minister is saying that there are 6 contractors on that road. Let's hope that he believes that they will finish the road before the end of the tenure of the president. I don't know whether he's talking about the 4 more or the 1 year.
Now, speaking of the minister and his promises, he did say that in 6 months the Lekma Road will be completed, didn't he, Malik?
Yes, he said that specifically on July 23rd, 2019. That's when he said.
July 23rd, 2019.
Yes.
So that should take us to February?
Yeah, so 6 months from July 23rd.
It's February 23rd.
Okay.
So that means that the minister has exactly a month from Thursday.
Let's see.
To finish the Lekma Road. So we Sammy, let's go to Lekma on Thursday, okay? Okay, Sammy says yes. We'll do Lekma on Thursday. Yeah.
Well.
Right. Malik, are you done with the 69%?
Yes, I'm done with the 69% and the 965 kilometer road, which is very important, which they say they are working on and will finish.
But you know that when all else fails, there's one thing that we can always do, right? Which is turn to God. And the transport minister has been seeking the support of the clergy and imams to tackle road accidents. So the transport minister, Mr. Kweku Ofori Siama, has appealed to the clergy, the leadership of the Muslim community, to help fight against road accidents. Now he's saying that it's a menace to the government, everything that's going on with the roads. And I've had this argument a few times over the past few weeks that there's definitely the technical issues. So there's the road issues, the street lights issues, the rumble strips issues, but there's also the human factor, the irresponsibility, the impatience. And when we talk about impatience, and we can go right back to last week with the accident that happened yesterday because of overtaking, where it's been cited that with a little bit of patience, that accident where we lost 34 people could have been avoided. Now, we know that 70% of Ghanaians are Christians. We know that a lot of people in this country are religious. So the transport minister is asking that those who are in these positions of authority should take responsibility for educating their congregation on being patient on the roads, driving responsibly so that we can avoid deaths and accidents, as opposed to just constantly putting everything on governments to fix the road, do this, do that. I mean, we do hold them accountable, but we also have to recognize that there's a role that we play in staying safe on the road.
Malik, do you remember the debates this raised in the newsroom when we were reviewing the story yesterday?
Absolutely. He does have a point about people taking responsibility. But whether or not the clergy and the imams are the people whose responsibility it is to get these people on the roads to be responsible is another question.
Well, yes, because there's law enforcement, traffic cameras. They're more maybe realistic or practical things. I remember you were telling us a story about the Okada driver who stopped at the red light, and he said it was because he knows that there's a camera there.
At the traffic light at the Electoral Commission.
Okay,
just after Ridge Hospital.
Yes.
He stopped and I asked him why. He said, sure, here there are cameras. If you go, the police will get you.
Okay.
That's an Okada rider. So he knows that there will be a consequence if he breaches the traffic regulations.
2 quick points on the roads. In the first place, the 6 months from July 23 is on
January.
Thursday.
Yes.
It's January. So it's in 2 days. So it's in order that we go there. So expect that update. And also, OSHA UK did a research on what causes road accidents. The roads themselves contribute 3%, the vehicles contribute 3%, and the people, human behavior, contributes 94% to all the road accidents that we see on our roads.
But we have always known this.
Exactly. So the question here is that enforcement, encouragement, and education. Claudia made a point that if the law is being broken by so many people, you must educate, else it becomes very difficult to enforce. And you were talking about yesterday how you still think that enforcement is the way to go.
Yes, my point is that if people know that there will be punishment if they breach the regulations, then compliance will follow.
Like the Okada rider.
Absolutely.
Except that sometimes it will require a certain upheaval of the whole system. Because Malik and I, for example, we're talking about the point system in the UK where you lose points on your license when you drive badly, but we don't have that kind of system here. So apart from maybe policemen, traffic cameras and stuff like that.
For us.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we need to move from this right now, but let me just ask the listeners, do you feel like it's an enforcement problem or it's an education problem? What do you think is the solution to curbing the road traffic menace or the road accident menace in the country? The Road Safety Authority will be joining us on the show today so we can put your issues and your concerns to them, but the number to text is 0244340437. That's the WhatsApp number.
Dada, let's go to court, where Senior Minister Yaosafo Mafu, together with some other persons at the Finance Ministry, Michael Ayesu, Abraham Kofitewia, Eva Mens, Patrick Numo, these are the people who have gone to court. They've gone to the High Court, filing a case of contempt against the Auditor General, Yao Domelefu. Their case essentially is that he was supposed to file some documents before the court, documents on the basis of which he founded a decision to surcharge them, and that he didn't do so. They say that failure to do so or refusal to do so amounts to a violation of the law. So they want him in prison. They are citing him for contempt. Now, what is the case? We do know that the senior ministry gave a contract to a UK-based company called UK Limited. They did their auditors, forensic auditors, did some work investigations for the government. Now, the Auditor General did his audit, said that this contract was not properly backed, there was no document backing it, and therefore he was surcharging the senior minister to repay this money back to the state, the $1 million which was paid to the company, $1 million to pay that money back to the state. The senior minister exercised his rights under the law to go to court and appeal against that surcharge to seek to set it aside. Now, as part of that appellate process, they argue the Auditor General ought to have filed the documents on the basis of which he made the surcharge, and that he didn't do so. It is the reason why they are citing him for contempt at the High Court. We have to see, and part of their case before the court reads, let me just read one paragraph, the refusal of the respondent, that's the Auditor General, to file in particular the documents on which he based the purported decision against us, exposes his contrived scheme, deliberately fashioned to achieve his own invidious agenda, and also with a view to prevent the Honorable Court from efficiently ascertaining the full circumstances of our case and effectually ruling on it in terms of Order 54, and then they quote the law. This is portion of what they have filed before the court.
Right, and Malik, if you remember, 2 years ago there was the Kwabena jailbreak, there was the Royal Motors robbery, there was that rape and robbery near Trasacco last year, and also in Kaswa as well. Well, the people who were responsible for that have been shot down. They've been killed. So what happened was that these suspected armed robbers who have been wanted by the police for about 2-3 years now, the police got some intelligence that they were actually going to run some sort of criminal activity around Oyibi, so they were apprehended. They chased them down. They got caught in gunfire. One of them was shot, and then they were able to find out where their hideout was, got there as well, got into an exchange, and another one of them was shot. So I'm not sure whether to say good news, but at least we know that these people are off our streets and we're a little bit safer.
There's another story. I don't know whether it is good news or bad news. This one emanated from Parliament. There was drama in Parliament yesterday at the sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, where the committee chairman, James Kluchi-Aveji, virtually asked the police to pick up some 2 persons, a former district finance officer for Sefia Kontumbra in the Western North region, and Isaac. So this is Isaac Akuwa, and a current district finance officer in this same district. The 2 of them appeared before the Public Accounts Committee on Wednesday last week. They were asked to produce some payment vouchers. These payment vouchers became a matter of issue when the Auditor General found in the 2015-2016 audit found that there were payments that were made without supporting payment vouchers. So these persons, when they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee, were asked to go and bring those payment vouchers. There's 62 in number. They turned up yesterday. They brought what they said were the payment vouchers supporting the payments that had been flagged by the Auditor General. And the Public Accounts Committee members were suspicious of these payment vouchers. They said only one of them was authentic. The rest of them, they believed, were forged. So they asked the police to pick them up. This divided opinion on Facebook and elsewhere, because there were those who thought that the Public Accounts Committee did not have the power to authorize the arrest of persons on television. There were other lawyers like Samson who spoke to us on News 9 who said that, well, every citizen has a duty imposed on them by the Constitution to inform the police if they find somebody to be acting in violation of the law or to be committing a criminal act. So if these persons engage in conduct that the members of the Public Accounts Committee believed constituted some criminality, then they had every right as citizens to inform the police, which is what they did.
I hope it serves as a deterrent for the many people working in the MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies, and the MMDAs, that's the assemblies at our metropolises, our municipalities, and our districts, to be more fair, to apply integrity to the work that they do. And also the Public Accounts Committee finally has peace. I'm very happy to hear that, Malik.
But we have to wait and see, because the people they wrote their statements to the police. We do not know yet whether they've actually been engaged in any criminal activity. They will have their day in court.
Fair, of course. Very fair point. Yeah. Very fair
and moving from drama in Parliament to drama in the church, and I seem to be talking about the church law this morning, but I love this story. And of course, when Archbishop Duncan Williams speaks, it makes the headlines. And he is saying that God will decide the 2020 polls, not blood sacrifice. So on church on Sunday, his sermon was pretty much that the 2020 elections would be divinely determined by God. But he is saying that if Christians don't speak out, then the elections will be determined by blood sacrifices offered to the powers of darkness. So, quote unquote, he says, we're in 2020 elections, people are predicting the outcome already, and Christians are sitting down saying nothing, leaving it to politicians. You have to speak out. And he says people come to him and they ask him, what do you think about the elections? He says the will of God shall be done. And he's saying that if you want to ask, how do we pray? This is the answer. Pray and command a divine outcome. He said, let the outcome of the election be divine. Let the counsel of the Lord determine the outcome of the election, and let the wishes, desires, and the exploitation of men and politicians be disappointed.
Right. Thank you very much, Archbishop, for that very, very needed counsel. We are going to go online immediately, and the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest. And Goyle Good Energy. The Efienifie promotion is still alive, and many like Ibrahim Lukman from Winchi, Benjamin Otri from Kaswa Iron City, and Abdul Karim Abubakar from Yendi have received 1,000 CDs, 500 CDs, and 300 CDs of free fuel. Others are getting plenty instant rewards. So just drive to any Goyle station, buy 100 CDs worth of fuel or more, and for motorbikes, 30 CDs or more. Get a card, scratches, and dial *161 *465 4645 hash. Follow the prompts or go to the App Store, download the Goyle promo app, Sign up with your phone number and receive a one-time activation code. More rewards are awaiting you. Goil Efienife promo. Terms and conditions apply. Goil, your Hall of Fame petroleum company. Goil Good Energy. Goil Yenara Yedia. Now earn fantastic rewards on your purchases when you shop online or abroad with your Zenith MasterCard. You heard right. Spend a minimum of 3,000 Ghana cedis using your Zenith MasterCard and be rewarded. The more you spend, the bigger your reward. Don't miss out. Promo ends on January 31, 2020. Visit any Zenith Bank branch and sign up today for your Zenith MasterCard. It's free. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. There will be no treated water in the Western region if Galamsey persists. This is coming from the Ghana Water Company Limited. Very, very worrying issue. Remember, the president said clearly he is willing to put his presidency on the line. This was back in 2017. So I think that it's time that we put the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining back on our sites.
Yeah, about this story. So we know the former President Mahama's government fought Galamsey and failed. The president you just mentioned said he was putting his presidency on the line. It looks like his fight is also failing.
We need to track what exactly has been done, Malik. It's an important point you raised, though, that it's been done from president to president. It's a proud day for Ghanaian peacekeepers, though, as 24 police officers get the UN medal. That's also on myjoyline.com. UK Prime Minister quotes popular Akan proverb at UK Africa Summit, and that's Boris Johnson there speaking. It looks like Boris Johnson is better than me at the Chio. Other online stories are from citynewsroom.com. FX committee lacks focus, must be dissolved. Kwame Pianum speaks there. Group opposing new register to stage Yempini demo in Kumasi today. Graphic.com.gh Dumpasi road crash. Government declare medical bills of victims. And at Winchi, former TV host Kojo Frimpong, aka Shakes, to contest the MTV primary. I was with Shakes in Takra during the Masquerade Festival. He didn't tell me that he's planning on running for office. Anyway, all the best to him. Good morning to all of you. Now, coming up a bit later on the Super Morning Show, Dr. Johnny Selby, who is head of the National Health Insurance Authority, joins us for a very important conversation. Here's why.
4 women dying each day, more than 3,000 diagnoses annually, and more than 2,000 of those women are losing their lives. It's unacceptable. Well, it's important that if we're encouraging screening, then we should provide enough centers for screening. And of course, it should also be affordable to women. So are they able to pay for that service? You know, what interventions would the authorities make in order to make it affordable and accessible? Those are very important conversations to be had, and it's integral to finding a solution to this problem.
And that's Hajia Samira Baumia, wife of the Vice President, Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana. As she indicated, it's a very important conversation that we ask, are you able to pay for a pap smear? Are you able to pay for a cervical cancer test? This morning, that is exactly why the NHIA CEO, Dr. Johnny Selby, is joining us. So we can ask, why can't the authority or the scheme cover these tests? We'll be right back. Stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show.